someone like
Yeah, back
physically
then when
going
Melee
and
was
sitting
actually
in a
pretty.
setup.
Back then when Melee was actually pretty big.
You're saying Melee's not big now?
Not IRL, not at well. Yes, but we're so decentralized. Back then, Melee was much more centralized.
Look, all I'm saying in regards to IRL Melee is I'm running a local tomorrow that currently has 71 registered attendees. I don't think Melee is dying.
It's not that Melee is dying. I think Melee is more decentralized more than ever.
Yeah, everything's online. There's multiple different.
We don't have a central hub anymore. That's the
There
problem.
isn't a central hub. There's no central hub. People are separated between, you know, Twitter, or they're separated Discords, like all locked up by in their own gardens. You know.
Yeah,
There's no
I think that
centralized
is actually the
place for people to
biggest.
get Melee news.
Like, I think we are either similar size, maybe slightly smaller, maybe slightly bigger, but we feel smaller because of how decentralized we are.
But like, what's the answer for that? Like, is it an HLTV-esque
Come
website?
down. We being off of Facebook is actually a horrible thing.
It is terrible, actually.
It is like that's actually a net negative for us.
Don't
like,
get me
yes,
wrong. Facebook sucks.
Yes,
Facebook
it is.
sucks.
But the moment when we made Facebook private changed so much.
Like, there are people, like, every day we have people joining NYC Melee's Facebook group and asking where to find events, and it's like, there needs to be a place for people to find their regional hubs.
Because
like that's okay. But that's the thing about that, even with it, okay, even the fact that I have to say we need a place for people to find the regional hubs, that sucks. There should be a place where people can just find general information.
Yeah, Discord is also terrible for news. Like, you have people turning off notifications. They have been like a million Discord servers. Discord actively hides like news and whatnot. Discord is good for communication. It is terrible for like advertisement.
You know, the Georgia Melee Discord had to shut down because the main owner, like the admin or whatever, got his account stolen. So the person who stole the account for whatever reason deleted the entire Georgia Melee Discord and all of its roles and all of the events and all of the history in there. And it's like, if a Discord gets deleted, how do the Discord owners find the new Discord?
Yeah, and like the big strength of Facebook is that if like the big reason why Discord and Twitter sucks is that you have to promote the shit out of it. Like, it only works if you already have a following. That's why TMT somewhat succeeded compared to like a lot of other online tourneys, because we had a following. Like, we had a player base. Like, I have a couple thousand Twitter followers. They all know that TMT exists. How is Joe Schmo TO with 2 followers on Twitter supposed to advertise his event? And you know what? Back then, there already was an answer. It was Facebook, because Facebook already promoted to an established player base. It promoted to, like, everyone. You didn't need to have, like, a following back then to, like, advertise your event. I mean, it would have helped back then as well, don't get me wrong, but, like...
Now you do.
Now it is required. It is no longer a bonus. And, like, the fact that Facebook is somewhat, like, outdated now, like, it's not our centralized hub anymore, it's... Ugh. Yeah, we lost a ton. It was like... It was our huge source of growth.
And there's also, like... I mean, I guess Slippi GG exists, but it requires an individual to maintain all these Discord servers. Like, there's a Smashboard server I know that mostly is for Ultimate, but there is a Melee existent one too that shows people regional Discords as well as character Discords, and it is outdated. There are, like...
Yeah, like, I found out my first local because of Facebook. If it wasn't for, like, Facebook promoting it, I wouldn't have gone. I wouldn't have known. It was just some, like, college local that was
because of
so
Mewtwo
sick.
King.
What?
I went to my first tournament because Mewtwo King advertised it on his Twitter.
Yeah, and you know that's somewhat unreliable. Also, I'm gonna have to turn on ads to, you know, turn off pre-roll.
Mono is right too. No one would ever know. Like, I'm sure there are I guarantee you, I would bet at least like half my net worth that more than half of the top 100 players. No, I would bet that at least 75 of the top 100 players on the MPGR 2019 do not know what Blippi GG is.
Yeah, I knew that existed, but I don't use it. I think a much more safer bet is like they don't use it.
And it's like, well, I mean, you don't really need to use it if you're like if you are already established, because you don't really need it. It's more for beginners. But like, from a search engine perspective, what do you have to search to find Blippi GG? Like, if I look up right now, I don't know.
It's mostly like I've seen Blippi.gg used mostly as like as a way to use Slippi. You know?
Yeah.
As, like,
If I
a Slippi
Google where do you
tutorial.
find, if you Google where to find Smash Brothers Melee tournaments on Google, the first thing that pops up is the Smash GG tournament feature.
Oh god, that thing is
very
terrible.
Awesome Smash GG
Oh
tournament.
god.
After that is the Wikipedia article of Melee tournaments, the Liquipedia article of Melee tournaments, the SSB Wiki article of national tournaments, an article on Input Mag about the Big House. No, it's an article about the Panda Global Circuit, which we don't even know is going to happen or not anymore. And then a MeleeMajors.com, which I actually think is a pretty good resource, but
yeah, but
not a lot of people use it.
Yeah.
I think it is a genuinely good resource, though. And then after that is a Reddit post on RSSBM from 2020 from a poster asking, how do I find upcoming Melee tournaments?
that's a great question that he's asking.
MeleeMajors.com, yeah.
You know,
It is a very good, I think it's a good resource. It tells you the Smash GG page, the featured players, and the live stream. And it is updated, I believe through a subreddit.
you know, it's not that I think so we are decentralized as fuck. And like
Yes.
losing Facebook was a huge blow. But
Yeah.
there is one solution that I think Blur suggested that I actually think was really good, that like nobody's really implemented. Why not make a subreddit of like r/SoCal Melee or r/New York City Melee?
I can see that working.
Why not? Yeah, like what is like the downsides that is like that like making a subreddit that that like you know Twitter and Discord.
The downside is that Reddit isn't the most user-friendly platform to navigate if you don't already have an account. It has not an amazing, like, the Smash Brothers and r/SSBM communities do not have the best rep. And a majority of people will associate, like, as of right now, would associate Reddit as a platform, like, and its Smash Brothers communities with
I mean, we
RSBM and Smash Brothers.
that is true, but we're on fucking Twitter and we were on fucking Facebook, so I don't think
But
we're really
it's
concerned about
easier to link. It's easier to link a post on Twitter and see all the threads and such on Twitter than it is to Reddit. I would say Reddit is more accessible than Facebook, but I think that Reddit's reputation is like probably the thing holding it back the most, and also the population too. I know that so it's no secret I do a bunch of like content work for Magi. I'm like her video editor, and I also do like I manage her subathon and a bunch of other stuff. She tried this approach actually. She started up her own Reddit account, or her own subreddit, r/SSB Magi, and said that she was gonna be using it like regularly as well. And I'm also not saying this in any flame to her or her community by any means. I'm just giving this as an example. So the Reddit, as of right now, has 68 members and has not. The last post in the Reddit, not by Magi herself. The last post by Magi was 26 days ago. The last post that Magi did not post herself in the subreddit was posted by Epic Gamerman 42069, and it just asks Magi, "What is your favorite color?"
What did she answer with?
Black and red.
Sick.
And then Epic Gamer responded, "Like your hair." That's very cool.
Well, that's the thing is that like, what content does Magi have going? You know, like. Okay, so there is one weakness aside from the reputation, because yes, Redditors they do have that reputation, but fucking half of you are Redditors anyway, so don't pretend that you don't use the platform. At least half of you, if not more. I think we can get over that. I don't think that's like the strongest counter argument. The strongest counter argument I can think of is I think you do need like the weakness of needing like a somewhat of a following still
You need
exists.
an active community.
Yeah, you need an active community, and like, you know, if we're gonna make the assumption that Melee has a healthy local scene, it's gonna have content. There's gonna be new posts every week, every day. Something's happening. There's PR releases talking about rankings. Like, there's gonna be stuff going on. And
But let's say a region if a region subreddit, right? If you're saying that for a community to exist on subreddit, or a sub community, like, I will give NYC Melee as an example because I don't really, even though I'm in NYC Melee and I've lived in NYC for the last like 6 years, I talk more and interact more in the NJ Discord than NYC Melee, but that's also because I'm like more close friends with the NJers than the NYCers. But regardless, right? A subreddit, for it to look like an active and healthy community, would need to have posts and discussion regularly, right? What would get discussed in a sub-region subreddit regularly?
I mean, I remember back then, like, there would always be, like, when Facebook was really popping, there would seem to be, like, posts, like, every, like, 2 hours on Facebook. I think if the scene is healthy, like, there would be posts. Like, there's a lot of content going on. There's a lot of things going on in Reddit. And somebody just said that, like, yeah, like, Reddit requires, like, a lot of individual upkeep. So there's, like, a lot of other things. Like, we already do that with Twitter and Discord that relies on, like, one guy. Like, I think
like,
Reddit, in many ways, is, like, an upgrade compared to, like, Twitter and Discord.
But
Even though it's not best, it's not perfect. I will give you that.
Okay, we're talking about regional, like a regional Reddit, right? I'm just gonna give NYC Melee as an example because NYC Melee, I am actually surprised that it even got as large as it is in regards to its Twitter and Discord presence, and that I say this as someone who's put a lot of work into NYC. I'm genuinely shocked it has gotten as big as it has.
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw that SoCal Arcadian had like 200 entrants. I was like,
yeah,
God damn.
So, like, NYC Melee's Twitter account, which is, for the most part, it is basically Ryby posting with an occasional post from someone else. Most of the tweets on the account get very little interaction. A lot of people use it as a news source and kind of don't care when we post about a clip from a top NYC player or, I don't know, nightclub registration. It gets very little interaction.
Yeah.
It's mostly just a news bulletin. And I'm fine with NYC Melee being a news bulletin. The whole idea of NYC Melee as a Twitter account was to be a news bulletin in the first place. So I'm fine with that. But then we see the NYC Melee Discord. And once again, nothing wrong with the NYC Melee Discord itself. I have nothing wrong with NYC. There's nothing wrong, I think, as a whole with the NYC Melee community. I think it's a pretty healthy community. Has a lot of players. 70 entrants at its local this week. Pretty good. So, 718 members in the Discord. The last, as of May 3rd, which was today, let me see. The last thing that was posted in the NYC Melee Discord was at 1:20 p.m., which was someone needing housing. Before that was 3 hours ago, which was JoJo announcing his stream. And then before that, the last thing that was posted was at 8:55 p.m. yesterday, asking if there were any vegans or vegetarians going to the nightclub this Wednesday, in which 4 people responded over the course of 15 hours. And if we're moving to the subreddit, I can see someone posting any vegan vegetarians going to it says that I'm not trying to like go on. It literally says, quote, word for word, just wondering, are there any vegan or vegetarians going to the nightclub this Wednesday? Eye emoji. I can see that being a post on the subreddit. I can see JoJo posting a stream on the subreddit. I can see Drekgoon posting that Crike needs housing on the subreddit. But it's like, would any of those posts receive interaction to the point where it looks like the NYC Melee community, from an outsider perspective, is not dead?
The answer is I don't know, because nobody's done it.
And more so, would people interact publicly? Because there's definitely the whole idea that people are interacting privately in the NYC Melee Discord because it's, I would like to say it is a seemingly safe space, and that people are able to talk freely in there. But Reddit is a public space. People could say things or be potentially afraid to say things or
I mean,
say
like
different things.
that
as
would be,
a
I think, is
public.
the point of the DDT. You know, like because like SSVM has a DDT, so a daily discussion thread. So like
Also,
people will probably be put there.
I can see what you're saying there, but like if there's a DDT, like how many people would post from like I can see SSBM's DDT doing well. R/Smash Brothers DDT doesn't really get a lot of responses, at least melee wise, and most people don't read the DDTs aside from people like what Mono said. Aside from like most of the regulars who just post there.
Yeah.
I
I agree
definitely
that
remember-
like in
Sorry.
those kind of things, like Discord has its place. I think in terms of event, in terms of event advertisement, I think Reddit does it far better than Discord and Twitter. Well, the best idea, by the way, is to bring back Facebook because it was good at all of that, and we kind of just gave that up. If Mark Zuckerberg made us so then we could re-publicize Facebook groups, it would obviously be this best solution, but we can't do that.
I think just making an HLTV-esque, like having an HLTV-esque resource for Smash that people can just click on and see where the regional and local tournaments are, where the net play tournaments are.
I don't.
Where everything is.
The what?
Do you know what HLTV is?
No.
Okay. So, I forget if it's org or com. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. I think it's org. Yeah, HLTV.org. And it is a CSGO news website which features live links to matches. It shows team stats. It shows a ranking. And it shows what events are coming up and how to find them. And it has articles too. And if there was a centralized news hub, such as an HLTV that existed for Smash that people could click on, they'd be able to find, you know, where are the tournaments in my area? What are the events that are coming up? Maybe I can find, I don't know, who is ranked, who's doing well right now. Where's fantasy? And the crazy thing, and this is where a lot of people disagree with me on this, and feel free to disagree. There is a website right now that has a lot of these features and could very easily become this sort of central news hub for Smash.
Is it Blippi or what?
As a result of its current reputation, with how difficult it is to find this information on the site, as well as other qualms, including it not having a mobile app, an accessible dark mode, loading times, people don't even consider it an option. But it does technically have everything listed that could be used on a central news hub.
We do. We definitely do. So basically, the reason why I listed Reddit as the option is because it takes the least effort out of everything. Everything else would require, like, overhaul. Like, you are right. You guys are all right that Reddit has weaknesses. But I think it is probably one of our better options than, like, using Twitter or Discord, in my honest opinion. Maybe not necessarily like r/SoCal, necessarily like r/West Coast Melee or East Coast Melee if we like are starved for interaction. But that's like for like low effort stuff. If we actually really want to like overhaul everything and like actually centralize the scene, it would either be using Smash.gg or using Slippi. Like, you know the Slippi launcher, right?
Yes.
If that was our centralized hub, like where like there's like news sources, there's a forum, there's like a clean little interface, that could be our ticket to centralizing the scene.
I like the idea of utilizing Slippi.gg in some way.
Yeah.
And the Slippi launcher already existing and most people already having it installed. I kind of like that.
Everybody has Slippi. Anybody that's somewhat serious about Melee, they have the Slippi launcher installed.
And it already has a news like.
Yeah, like they plug their Twitter in there.
I kind of like that actually.
Mm-hmm. But that would require the most efforts.
Yes.
Like, that would require the cooperation of Fizzy. That would require him putting in more time away from working on ranked. It would require, like, a whole new UI of, like, making a forum, making a central... Basically, it could be our Smash boards. But, that would, like, require an all different team together. It would basically mean, yeah, it makes Fizzy do way more work. But it is probably our best chance of centralizing the scene.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But we are, like, putting the burden more and more on one guy. And he would definitely need a team.
I'm sure there would be a people
That would volunteer.
Who would volunteer.
And by a team, I mean a team of volunteers. Like, and that's why, like, I didn't say this right off the bat, because it would take the most effort. Yeah, the loss of Scar. He was a great unifier. He had the